Well, guess what? It's clear in the Bible that you're not supposed to trust in human beings. Human beings will fail you either on accident or on purpose, but we're just flesh and blood. It's God that makes the man. It's the truth that makes the man. And sometimes the truth calls for a good, hard, profane word to describe what the fuck is going on.
It's the anger and rage that we feel inside, and that's how we express it.
Yeah.
And if you have a problem with it, that's your fucking problem. With this war raging against this enemy and all that we're fighting for and defending, today I'm thinking about a friend of ours, Ashli Babbitt.
Yeah.
It's a special day, and the reason why I'm thinking about him is because I'm thinking about his loss, the loss of his wife, Ashli Babbitt. And I'm thinking about her sacrifice, and I'm thinking about the sacrifice she made for her country. And I think about the bullet that took her life. And that bullet wasn't just fired by some cowardice, treasonous, so-called police officer, a drone for the tyrants. But to me, that bullet was fired by everyone who supports anti-American tyranny, the left, the regime. It's fired by those who control the regime. It was fired by those who control the regime. They're all responsible. And all of them need to be punished for what they did. And when I say punished, I mean they need to be hung for treason, all of them. And it needs to start with the top and work their way all the way down to the man who fired the gun. And anybody who supports them, they all need to be imprisoned.
Yes.
People need to pay for what happened to her. And the reason why I'm thinking about Aaron, and especially his wife today, is on this day we're filming. Now this, what's going on here today will be seen in a couple days, but today, as we're filming this, today is Ashli Babbitt's birthday.
Yeah.
And I know with Kim and what he's facing, especially now that his case is peaking, his J6 case is peaking, and it'll be coming to a close soon. He's heading into the final stages of it. I'm certain that Ashli Babbitt has been an inspiration to him and his own fight.
Yeah, Tony. Ashley's been in my heart, and she's been on my lips. I've talked about her. I've thought about her. I felt her and Ashli Babbitt, her husband's pain. That day, she, to me, is the real Lady Liberty. And they attacked liberty, these tyrants. They killed her. They wanted to make an example out of her. That terrorist deep state regime wanted to punish all of us. And that was the first shot that took a life that we know of that was supporting our American way on that day. And I remember leaving the Capitol that day. Some young man said, "Hey, they shot this woman. Look," and he showed us this video. And I said, "Grab that," to one of the guys. I said, "Grab that, will you? Get that." He airdropped it to his phone. And I remember that evening sitting at a diner out there, and everybody at the table was just looking down, just turning their food back and forth with their fork, just very solemn. And I remember I broke the tension, the quiet. I said, "I can't believe they killed her." And it was just a day of grieving, a week of mourning. It was shock. That's how I felt, was complete shock that they would do that to us. They would do that to her, a military veteran. And the insult that they added to injury didn't stop. They continued to degrade her online. They continued to say the most vile things. People would post video of her getting killed and say horrible things about it and how she got what she deserved. I remember posting a video. I lost my Facebook account forever for posting about it, saying nothing, just posting it, just dropping it in a thread. Lost my Facebook account, all the family photos that had kids growing up, being in Italy with my son on my lap, drivers singing opera, friend of mine. All these memories were gone. It was like my house burned down, but nothing compared to people that pay the ultimate price, like Ashli, like Aaron, her husband, what he paid, losing his loved one, his wife, his life mate. And it's inspiring, it's disgusting, it's encouraging, because when you see a wrong like that, you know at times like these that try men's souls, these are opportunities to rise to the challenge, because you don't shrink away from that degree of wickedness. You stamp it out, you expose it. The darkness hates the light, it says in the Bible. You expose what they did to her, what they did to all of us that day and afterward. They were attacking her. They even took her military honors away.
They take her military honors away, and they fucking promote the guy that took her life.
That's right.
And you know, that even goes right here in Orange County. Michelle Steele.
But we'll get to her in a minute.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, they all jumped on the bandwagon to praise these guys.
Yeah.
That were attacking Americans.
I can feel the passion coming from you when you talk about her and what happened to her. How much more does that intensify now that you actually know her husband? You know, you met him a few years ago at Basilico's at the restaurant, right? When we had a Goodfellas night.
Yeah.
So it's got to hit closer to home. I mean, for one, you were there on the scene. You were at J6. And then you meet her husband. I mean, who would have thought? I mean, how does that change how you feel?
It makes it more sad, but more real.
Yep.
And I remember, like, we had vigils even the next day. I remember in DC, I was with people that put up pictures and posters of her to put it out there, what happened, what they did to this woman. And then I remember back in Orange County, you know, we did these vigils at the pier in the rain. And we had pictures, we had people that had her picture up. We wanted to honor her and her commitment to her country and her price that she paid. And
I know how much it touched your heart, because when we did the Goodfellas night 2 years ago, and Aaron was one of our guests of honor, he was our primary guest of honor that night. You stepped up and did something very special that surprised a lot of people.
it was special to me, Tony.
But you took the lead, and the approximately 50 men who were there that night followed you. And
Well, that was I count that as one of my greatest moments in my life.
Explain what you did.
So when I learned that we were having this Goodfellas night, and you pack your house with veterans, patriots, and Goodfellas of all sorts that support us for our cause, freedom, American way, and I learned that it was Ashli Babbitt's birthday that day, and I said, you know what, I got to say something. I took the mic, and Goodfellas night is known for being no women allowed, but I had to say, you know what, gentlemen, there's one woman that's here.
Yeah.
And she's in our hearts. She's in our minds. She's on our lips. We've been talking about her. And today's her birthday. So let's honor her and sing Ashli Babbitt "Happy Birthday."
Yep.
And we had 50
All the
plus
men stood up and
Yeah,
sang.
50 men, all very
50 plus,
solemnly
yep.
singing
Yep.
happy birthday.
And I was glad to do that on that day to honor her. And I remember Aaron, he said, thank you. And he gave me a hug
Yep.
because he appreciated it because she can't be forgotten.
Yep. Well, Aaron is doing everything he can to make sure that doesn't happen. And Aaron is he's this rugged looking, tough guy,
Yeah.
bald guy, big beard, got
From
a deep
Boston?
voice. I mean, he talks like a wrestler with his voice. He's from Boston. He's a man's man, but he's a gentleman. He's a real gentleman. But he's got this strength inside of him that you can sense when you spend time with him, and that's why we like him around, because those are the kind of men that we surround ourselves with and we like to support. And I know that he's trying really hard right now to get justice on her behalf. I know, Doug, you've been following that pretty closely.
Well, a couple of things. None of us ever had the opportunity to meet Ashley, but getting to know Aaron, I feel like I know her. So
Yeah.
he's. You can tell that they were just both quality people for sure. So, but it's been a really tough road for them. But he was able to hook up with these people from Judicial Watch. I don't know if you're aware of this organization, but
Tell us about them.
Okay, well they are probably the premier organization. They're one of these not-for-profit groups, and they sue the government quite a bit. They're experts at doing these freedom of information requests to get the information on all these different cases. So he was able to hook up with Tom Fenton, and obviously they believe that they've got a good case to bring.
And is Tom Fenton the head?
Tom Fenton runs it. It's funny, he's not an attorney, but he runs that organization, and he's got probably the best attorneys.
He's a good leader, yeah.
Yeah, he's a good leader. And so they're going after the government. They're going after the government for wrongful death, $30 million lawsuit, wrongful death in the case of Ashley's murder.
Okay.
And that the case, I think they just set a trial date now for July of 2026.
The fuck.
I know, but I read a little bit about it. I think everybody is pretty happy with that date just because there's so much discovery that needs to be done. And Kim, you know all about discovery.
Yeah, I wish I had a July 2026 date for my criminal charges in DC, but
they feel like they need the time.
Yeah.
We all
get
do.
to
his side does.
both sides.
Both sides do.
Yeah. They both asked the judge. The judge originally wanted a case to be heard in 2025, but they both said, "Hey, we need a little bit more time." So I think July.
This is his way of holding the government and the shooter, or the murderer, accountable.
Yes.
Right.
Well, they need to get the discovery. They need to find out everything that the government is trying to hide, and they're already hiding things. This guy, the guy that pulled the trigger, they put him away at Andrews Air Force Base for 3 or 6 months, right after this whole event happened, just to keep him quiet.
Yeah, and I think about how hard the judicial system has made it on him just to get his case to this point.
Yes.
Like it's just been
not
nothing
easy.
but torture. I mean, it's been a struggle, right?
Yeah, and the government they're pulling a fast on him too. So the Babbitts lived in San Diego.
Yeah.
And they filed the case in court in San Diego.
Yeah.
But the government has now moved the case back to Washington, D.C.
That's their home turf. That's where they want
Everybody knows why. 95%.
So is that where it's going to end up now?
Right now it's in Washington, D.C. And Tom Fenton and his group, they're appealing that decision. They want to get it back to San Diego.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah. They need that because, everybody knows Washington, D.C. juries and judges are
it's a swamp.
Very biased.
Yeah, it's a swamp.
So,
I think about how hard it's been for him to get his case to this point.
Yeah.
And now he's got to wait another.
It's been a struggle. They filed the case in January of 2024. So now, they finally have a date.
Well, the rage I was feeling today was especially intense because I was thinking about, I had heard about these two women who were charged with fraud. Actually, it was alleged that they committed fraud during the 2020 election in the voter count.
Yeah.
Right. So of course the state, whichever state it was, I forget which state it was, said, "Oh, there's nothing to see here." Right. Nothing, as if nothing happened, like we talked about last time. Don't look over here.
When they say that, there's something to
exactly.
look for.
They're innocent. And who the fuck are they to say they're innocent?
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck what you say. We can't trust you.
Yeah.
But they had their backs and encouraged them to sue at the time Giuliani. They were awarded, they're just two older women, probably, I don't know how much they had going on in their lives, but they got awarded $150 million just because somebody said you committed fraud and you cheated the American people out of their vote, right? Our side. Now I heard that
to make clear, these women are villains. They're not our women.
Well, their side is trying to paint them like they're innocent angels,
yeah.
but our side knows. Listen, if it was alleged, it fucking probably happened.
Oh, for sure.
Okay, because everyone on their side, on the enemy side, was cheating, right? They all were, and they do every fucking day.
And so it's like some kind of defamation kind of suit.
Yep. So now I heard today that Jim Hoft, Joe Hoft's brother, and the Gateway Pundit just settled with the two women, I think just today, which means they're going to line their pockets with more cash.
Yeah.
So I thought to myself, if they're getting $150 million just because it was alleged that they committed fraud when counting votes, $150 million. Think about that.
Yeah.
$150 million. Their kids, their grandkids, they're set up for life. I don't know how much they were making at the time, but they would have never saw that in their lifetimes, right? So it was a cash grab for them, right? It was a money grab. If they're getting that much for that, Aaron Babbitt and his family and Ashli Babbitt's family deserve $150 billion. $150 billion, not million. 150. There's no price tag you can put on what's happened to him and what happened to her. And he should also be, for what they got compared to what happened to her, okay, and to him, he should also be given the keys to the Justice Department to run it, right, to prosecute everybody. And he should at least get 10 picks of the people that are involved. He gets 10 selections of who he gets to fucking hang for what happened to her.
Perfect.
That, to me, would be justice in comparison to what these two women got because somebody said they cheated with the count, you know? And then you think about Tina Peters, right?
Yes.
Tina Peters, it's alleged that she was defending the integrity of the vote. Defending the integrity of the vote, she should have been given an award, a reward. Yeah. She got 9 years in prison.
Yeah.
And those people they're alleged they're cheating the vote, and they get $150 million. Now you fucking tell me what's wrong with this country and why we feel rage and why I say the F word a lot. And you know what? I want to say something else. I want to talk about that. I've been meaning to bring this up for.
Can I say it? Fuck.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to say it because so many people have come up to me and said, "We love the show, but you got to tone down the F words." Especially what really set me off. Okay, and every time they say it, I'm just going to say it even more. But this one guy, somebody sent me a comment or an email and said, "Tony, you got to take a look at this." This beta male sends me an email and he says to me, "Tony was a big supporter of you, your fights, your restaurant. But I'm backing out now. I don't support you anymore." He says, "Well, then if you don't trust him," because he says, "I don't say the F word. So that means you don't trust me. So if you don't trust me, I'm out." And I thought to myself, you just proved my point why I don't trust you.
Weak.
Exactly.
Why I don't trust people who don't say the F word.
Yeah.
So what I say to him is, fuck you, because you're the problem. And people are more concerned with what language we use over what's happening in this country, over what's happening concerning people like Aaron Babbitt and how he lost his wife. You should be saying fuck. And you should be focused more on our targets, not on us.
Exactly.
Don't target us. Support us, because when we say it, we're targeting the enemy, and the enemy's your enemy too.
Yeah, to these moderates, to these civility dipshits, I want to say, what the fuck? Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up and get the fuck out of the way.
Exactly.
Don't fucking step up to real men and try and tell us how it's done. Because if you knew how it was done, it would have already been done. You would have been involved. And these people, you know what? I don't know if it's from the Bible, and he's taking offense that you say, I don't trust a man that doesn't cuss. Well, guess what? It's clear in the Bible that you're not supposed to trust in human beings. Human beings will fail you either on accident or on purpose, but we're just flesh and blood. It's God that makes the man. It's the truth that makes the man. And sometimes the truth calls for a good, hard, profane word to describe what the fuck is going on.
And how you feel.
How you feel.
Expresses your passion. Expresses your passion.
And what you see.
Yeah. And that we talk about. It's the anger and rage that we feel inside. That's how we express it. Yeah. And if you have a problem with it, that's your fucking problem. These are the same people. I something flashed on my screen the other day. Some guy running is an Asian guy. Apparently, we don't have any white people anymore that want to run for office. But there's this Asian guy running for office, and he flashed across the screen, and he said something like he was talking about alpha males. He said, "We need more alpha males to do this. We need more alpha." I'm thinking, wow, somebody's actually saying it.
Yeah.
This guy doesn't even look like an alpha male, but at least he's fucking saying it. But then he fucked up and he said, "We need alpha males and we need alpha women." And I thought, the fuck are you talking about? You couldn't you couldn't just go hard all the way, huh? You had to fucking hedge. You had to hedge and include them. There's no such thing as an alpha woman. And if there is, that's a problem.
Yeah. He lost all credibility when he injected that.
Yeah.
You know, Tony, I watched, because you're saying he's Asian, I remember watching the LA riots unfolding, and I remember watching the rooftop Koreans, and I remember watching them guard their businesses.
They were badasses.
They were badasses.
Yeah.
You know what? But I remember even thinking back then in the early 90s, thinking, you know what, though? They're getting a free pass because, they're not culturally tuned.
Exactly.
They got to be the heroes that day that every red-blooded American wants to be.
Yeah.
And they got a pass. Like, they didn't get, what I do remember is this. I remember thinking as the media was showing them, but they didn't dare pan to the gangbangers that were shooting at them.
Yeah.
Because they knew if they did, those gangbangers would shoot them dead.
Sure.
So the media was showing a bias.
But they would have shown the gangbangers if whites were shooting at them. They would have shown them for sure.
Yeah.
Because they would have focused more on them as the victims, right? Instead of, but
to be honest though, they knew those gangbangers were too dangerous and they would have killed them. The media knew it.
Well, you touched on Michelle Steele. What's her real last name? That's not her real last name.
I heard she's Korean. Grew up in Japan Korean. Or something.
Okay, so the two Congress people, right, that are representing
congressional
this area, right?
Yeah,
this area, Orange County, California, both happen to be
Korean
Asians.
They're both Korean Americans.
Koreans. Yeah. Young Kim and Michelle Steele.
And I believe
neither were born here.
Yeah, English is a second language.
Second language. You're fucking telling me in a place like Orange County with all the veterans, all the tough guys, the best we can do are two women from foreign countries that can barely speak fucking English? Yeah. Man.
Sad, man.
It infuriates me. And I think to myself too, and this has happened for a long time, people come in the restaurant during all the lockdowns. A lot of people from other countries, they'd come in and they would brag to me and tell me, "Oh, I came from here and I came from there." But how they would tell the story every time was, "I escaped. I escaped from here. I escaped from there. My family escaped from that country and this country and everywhere else." Then you hear these people running, these foreigners that are seeing like a grift, and they, you know what? I'm going to run for office. I'm going to run for the same story. Their same campaign pitch. I escaped this country. I escaped that. Why the fuck should we trust somebody who ran away from defending their own country.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear about you escaping, and now we're supposed to fucking trust you to come here and save us? Yeah. Are you fucking kidding me? And that's why I have the problem. That's why I have the problem with people who run from California to other states, and they say, I'm leaving. Americans are refugees. We don't fucking run from the fucking fight. Exactly, you stay and you fight. You fight for what you love, not run and then brag about it.
Yeah. Tony, you know, like the first politician you mentioned that came up on your feed as you're online, the Asian guy, you said at first, you know, he came on strong when he did alpha males.
Yeah.
And then he blew it. If these people were willing to go hard, by all means, have at it, go hard, go strong. But no. Like someone like Michelle Steele, she's up there.
You need to be born in this country.
Yeah.
Period.
But here's the thing, is like, and she can't even deliver. You know what she did deliver? She voted to give medals to the Capitol Police, including the one that killed Ashli Babbitt.
Then she's our enemy.
It's terrible.
She's not even somebody we're criticizing. Okay? She's our fucking enemy then. That's it. She's my enemy.
She's scum.
I don't give a fuck. She's my enemy. I don't care. She calls herself a Republican or whatever. Conservative. She's not. She's not.
What has she conserved?
Nothing. Yeah. She couldn't even conserve her. She couldn't even stay in her own country and help conserve that. Okay? She surrendered it and she's coming here like she wants to be a fucking hero for us. Are you kidding me? Fuck off.
Well, it's a token virtue signaling placeholder. Yeah. That's all she is.
Yeah.
And, you know, you got these weak-minded people that like are so preoccupied with what the left thinks of them that they're dying. Like you've said, slobbering over, you know, some grifter that comes. I'm a black Republican for Trump.
Oh, yeah. You know, rolled the red carpet for them.
You got these people that want to grift, and then you got these people that want to like virtue signal, like, see, I support a Korean Republican. I support a black MAGA. That's just, it's virtue signaling. It's weakness. It's a sign of defeat. And we need to really not care what they call us.
That's right.
We need to start caring about what we call ourselves when we look at ourselves in the mirror.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
this is real war too, by the way. So we keep saying that, but they're at war with us. We need to be at war with them. So people like Young Kim and Michelle Steele, I mean, are they warriors? I don't know.
Well, I don't think so. I mean, they weren't even warriors where they came from.
Well, even like you were saying about J.D. Vance. What was it? They were saying, we're talking about this a little bit. What, they want him to be the new...
Oh, he's the future
flag
of the
bearer of the Republican Party, yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Is he a warrior? I don't feel like he is.
But
this is all led to the woman, this like new crusade of women being in charge of everything. I was watching... I mean, you told me a story. You were a woman was commandeering what?
I was laughing. I read this article. So she's a captain in the. Well, first of all, it's New Zealand, so that kind of tells you what you need to know, I guess. But anyway, so she's the captain of a ship and a lesbian. Okay. So she checked all the boxes. Female, you know, she's a high-ranking naval officer. She's a lesbian.
Yeah.
And everything was going great right until she crashed the ship and sunk it.
Wait. No. Everything was going great until they pointed her.
Yeah.
Until they pointed her to be the captain of the fucking ship.
Well, yeah.
And imagine, but you know what? The men should have had balls.
Yeah.
And they should have launched a mutiny against her and said, "You're not commanding any of us."
Tony, that'd be toxic masculinity though if they did that.
Isn't that a beautiful thing?
That's a big crime though.
That's a beautiful thing.
The DEI, everything made sense on paper, and then she ran that ship aground, $100 million ship, and New Zealand only has like 5 or 6 ships. So
look, here I am checking out some of the news about what's just the horrible things that are happening in Florida and South Carolina, and every time they put somebody up as an expert. Leading the fucking charge for security, relief, and everything else over there. They're all women of every agency. And then the thing that just set me off was finally when they showed this woman, they introduced her, and it's the admiral of the Coast Guard. It's like this 61-year-old little old lady who's running the fucking Coast Guard. Who was she appointed by? Who do you think? Biden.
Of course.
Biden appointed her. And this is why it's complete abject failure over there. I don't give a fuck what anybody says.
Yeah.
That's a big... Men should be in charge. And when I say men, I don't mean just any man.
Yeah.
I mean alpha males. Yeah. Men that get shit done. Like men that know how to lead. Men that know how to take charge. I don't care how good a woman is. You match her up with a good man, she doesn't stand a fucking chance. Yeah. That's just how it works. It's the law of nature. That's it.
There's no females that stand up against Patton. So
a Patton male, yeah.
Yep. Exactly.
A Patton male.
Just not happening. So
and they're showing these conferences that happened in 2023, FEMA, and
who's the trainee admiral that we have? Do you know?
She's not.
That's the health. Attorney General, right, or what is it?
No. She's running. FEMA, isn't she?
No.
He or she? I forget who. Wait, is it a man running FEMA? Is it a lesbian trans?
I don't know.
There was a woman that had a tie.
No, it's a female, but I don't. She's not a trainee.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, these days
she's not doing a good job.
Well,
so, obviously.
Well, they're running a conference, right? And the representatives are sitting around, and what they're talking about, they're more concerned with how Christian and Catholic religious charities, are going to treat the trans community should they be caught in a storm or something. Instead of being grateful that these charities are just going to help them, they're concerned how they will address them. Will they address them properly?
Tony, let me add another layer to that. I recall that story. Not just the trans community, refugee or whatever, but it's an illegal alien. So it's actually the invaders that come here that are trans, trying to get some kind of charity. Like, they shouldn't even be here.
No.
But fuck having rules and shit, right?
Well, Helena, the hurricane happened south. Is it North Carolina or south? It's North Carolina, right?
It's North Carolina.
You had, I think right now there's 600 or more people still missing and over 230 people dead right now. So, and it's so bad they were burying people in their backyards because they had nowhere to go.
So the missing, they're most likely a lot of them are not going to be found alive.
Well, this is the worst hurricane since Katrina in 2005 to hit the United States. It's way worse than they're saying. Obviously, it's a cover up over there. It's way fucking worse. They're already moving on. Don't look over here. Look to Florida now. That one's already forgotten. They don't want to talk about that.
Yeah.
It's as if it didn't happen because they don't report on it.
Yeah.
There's no reports taken. But what I will say is this. I spoke very conservatively, but it's now come to light, and there's plenty of screenshots of the various news releases that it was actually over $1 billion of FEMA money
on illegal aliens.
Aliens.
$1 billion
invaders,
over 2 years. Yep.
Refugee, whatever you want to
call it. That's only $1 billion they're talking about. How much was it really?
Of course.
$5 billion, $3 billion, $10 billion?
We're talking billions.
Yeah.
And
see, but now you guys are trading in misinformation now, according to Biden. That's what he was saying.
But they're calling that disaster equity. They're calling it equity. They want equity even in disaster. And meanwhile, that little bitch Mayorkas, while all this is happening, while those areas are burning down and flood and just wiped off the face of the earth, he's out shopping at luxury retailers like a woman. Shopping. He's out. They're filming. They're catching him shopping. While this is he's not even there.
Yeah.
So
Biden's at the beach sunning himself.
Yeah.
Camille Harris is raising money in Vegas or somewhere.
Electric cars are exploding.
Oh yeah.
Because the lithium-ion batteries don't mix with salt water.
Yeah.
And it's like a ticking time bomb.
Yeah.
And they fucking explode. Yeah. So they're exploding everywhere.
Yeah, they're telling you if you have one of those, park your car away from your house because it's going to blow up on you.
Yeah, but you're exactly right. Instead of they're basically ignoring red-blooded Americans.
Yes.
And their concern is that they want to focus on people that they call have disaster vulnerabilities, meaning are they trans? Are they illegal aliens? Yeah. Let's focus on them first. But you're right. It was. They're saying they documented at least $1 billion. At least, what could they do with that $1 billion right fucking now?
Yeah.
You know,
they could ruin our country. That's what they are doing with it. They're trying to ruin our country. They're trying to like sink it from inside, implode it, and they're funding it with our money.
Yep.
To destroy our lives. This is an attack. This is an assault. This isn't just an insult or a misstep. This is an act of war. This is an act of, it's treason.
They're at war with us. These are their tactics.
It's another way to wage it for them. Yeah. And you know, meanwhile, you have guys like Emhoff, who's the what's he trying to be? He's trying to be the first man or gentleman or whatever.
Second.
Then the other guy running for
first beta.
VP. Yeah, first beta, second beta, exactly. So Emhoff. It's no wonder Emhoff and Walz are campaigning together. They're on the campaign trail together, like two beta males running second in command.
Yeah.
Right behind women. And I talked about this last time, and I think you were saying, or you had asked me, or you had mentioned somebody. I think it was your mom called me a chauvinist.
Oh yeah.
So your mom said I was a chauvinist.
My mom watches the show. I have to say, and she said you're a little bit of a chauvinist, but she's she's
so what?
So.
Well, she's right.
Yeah, good.
And I have reason to be. I mean, I don't listen. I know how to treat a woman.
I asked her if we're using the F word too much.
Yeah.
And she said no.
She said no.
Oh,
yeah.
really?
She said it was fine.
That is interesting. But yeah, I mean,
maybe a little more would be okay.
I know how to treat a woman. You know how to treat a woman. You know how to treat a woman. You treat them like a queen, but it's our job to step in front and fight and defend and lead.
Exactly.
And,
well, that's the biblical model, is that it says, wives, submit to your husbands. Husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church. And how did Christ love the church? He gave up his life. He was self-sacrificed. He died for her. And that's what men are called. Men have been doing this for centuries. They've been going to war.
That's right.
Men have been getting up in the middle of the night to go encounter and confront a prowler inside.
Yeah, it's a man who gets up with the bat.
It's the man. It's the man. Yeah. That's the man's role. Is you take on the challenges, the threats. You look around your house. You see who's in the neighborhood that's maybe going to maybe try to prey on your children. That's the man's role.
Yeah.
And they want to give this to women more and more. Like you're saying, they're putting women in all these positions because they know they can't really do it. Yeah. You know, I mean, it's already been said, but think about it. What did that woman do when Trump was shot? She hid behind him.
Yeah.
Right? And Trump.
The other one couldn't holster her gun. Yeah. The other one was trying to look cool, fix her glasses.
Right? Trump's gracious.
Posers.
So even her, she did a good job, but because he doesn't want to offend the women. He wants to win the election. But we know when he says I'm pretty honest. I'm mostly pretty honest. That's what he means, because we know he knows he likes the kind of Secret Service agents that don't hide behind him.
But imagine though, if you had somebody in charge that spoke the truth always, that fucking said was on their mind. That would build morale among the ranks like us. As opposed to somebody you have to guess what they're really thinking. Oh, he's going to compliment her. That demoralizes us.
Here's the problem.
That doesn't make us happy.
1984. I believe it's a quote from 1984. In a time of universal deceit, telling the truth is a revolutionary act. Right? So really, Trump's had to tone it down because some people think he needs to, can you be more moderate? These civility dipshits.
Then he's being a bitch about it.
Our country's a fucking bitch country right now.
He's being a bitch about it. Listen, I think about the Romans, and when they went to war, when the Romans went to war, I'll give you an example. You know how now, like our side, whenever we talk about an enemy, it could be China, it could be Iran, it could be anybody, and we say, "Oh, we're not gonna retaliate. We're not gonna launch an invasion. Oh, we would never bomb you. Oh, we would never." Why are you projecting weakness? Why are you let them if you don't want to say anything, then don't say that at all.
Yeah.
But don't encourage them and embolden them. The Roman generals never, ever projected weakness. Not fucking ever. Even when they knew they were outnumbered, the enemy had more resources. They had territory in their favor. The venue, where they were going to fight. They still always made sure that the men in the legions had good morale, and they did that by saying, "We're going to come and fuck you up," And basically, it was like a stare down. Whether they were like bluffing them or not, they were going to make them understand that we're coming to get you and we're going to beat your ass. Yeah. So that's the problem. And when I hear people playing fucking games, I think men like me, at least, it demoralizes me. I don't want to see that in any leader.
It's offensive.
He's not my leader, But as a leader, that people on my side, or at least say that on our side, are following. I hate to see them being led in that way, because I think it's defeatist. Yeah. It's defeatist for sure.
Well, we've been tenderized as a country, so you get the leaders you deserve.
Yeah,
if you had men demanding strength, then you'd have leaders that were projecting strength. And
he should be. Look, Trump right now should be in Florida. I think every campaign rally he should hold right now should be in Florida and North Carolina. That's where the battleground is right now. That's where if you're a leader and you truly care, you should be there, because what's happening over there is heartbreaking.
He did show up in North Carolina. He's there before FEMA even, or before Biden even thought about.
He needs to set up camp and be there, because the other side, they're not there at all. Yeah. They're not doing anything.
I mean, his campaign contributions and money, if he just redirected it toward aiding these people, that would be well-spent campaign money.
He's too busy hawking gold watches and why the fuck, when he does a campaign, why the hell he does a campaign rally again in Butler, right, Pennsylvania, where a man died, and at the end of it, he plays the rainbow flag national fucking anthem, YMCA.
What? Really?
Why is he playing YMCA? And then he says, I saw a quote someplace where he said something to the effect where homosexuals love it, or gays the gays just love it, or I forget exactly what it is. I'll have to look it up.
I don't know.
Why is he selling Trump Bibles that are made in fucking China? Like, this guy has people like Lewandowski, his son-in-law, Bannon, whoever the fuck has been around him. They're all bad. He fucking needs us.
He does.
He needs us to straighten his. If he's all, listen, our country deserves fucking better. I fuck complain about him all the time. People give me shit. The argument that I hate the fucking most when somebody says to me, "Oh, then vote for Biden." I'm like, really? Be fucking serious.
Yeah.
Don't,
or Kamala. Vote for Kamala.
Don't be a little bitch about it. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is we deserve better.
Yeah.
But if that's all we got, all we have to work with, he needs better people around him straightening his ass out.
To make him better.
Straighten his ass out.
Get off this unity kick too. You don't need the unity. We need fighters. We need to fight hard.
Well, here's the thing. When we touched upon this last show, is the women vote, and repealing the 19th Amendment, because all that gay shit, that's appealing to women. They are the ones that want that, and so that is, he's trying to reach that demographic, because I've talked about this before, but there was like these charts done by a liberal Democrat from the 2016 election that showed how each demographic voted, and if just women voted, this country would be all blue, right?
Completely.
And that's the problem. And so he has to pander to them because the women love the gays, and you're called a chauvinist. That's that's considered controversial.
Well,
but guys doing
she said a little chauvinist, not.
Well, I'm just saying that.
You know what she really meant.
But the sexual acts of
But here's my test for women who call themselves patriot women, I sort of alluded to this last time. If you call yourself a patriot woman, if you knew that you had to sacrifice voting as a woman, meaning they would repeal the amendment and you could no longer vote as a woman, but the exchange would be that you would get the country you want for yourself, for your family, for your kids, for your grandkids, for their kids, for their grandkids.
Yeah.
Right? A conservative, patriotic, God-fearing, traditional values, all the things that you hold dear to your heart, would you give up your right to vote? And if a woman says no, she doesn't love her country enough. Period.
And you know who put Ann Coulter? You're familiar with Ann, and you went on a date, you hung out. Ann Coulter says that. She says she would give up the right to vote.
Well, there you go. She loves her country.
But I remember talking to a woman here in Orange County, actually lives just not too far from here. And I told her that. I presented that idea to her. But I want to vote. I want to vote. And so it was like just, which went over her head. She couldn't even understand the concept, I guess, which there in itself shows she's not worthy to be voted.
Okay, but it's the same comparison to people who keep saying the Hispanics are going to vote for conservatives, right? Yeah, they may, because they're so conservative, their values are conservative. Okay, that's fine, and I hope that's true. But the reality is, a lot of people that come here from the third world, okay, we import a lot of it. When they come here, they may bring their traditional values here. But the minute all these benefits are dangled in front of them by the left, they then are willing to compromise. That, you know what, yeah, I want all those things, but if it means that I have to give up, all these handouts, then maybe I'll have to vote for the left and just kind of bite my tongue and just fucking do it.
Of course, that's why the Democrats are bringing them. They know. They're playing even if it's 60-40.
Yeah. So the point is, you can't have it both fucking ways.
Yeah.
It's like, what do you really, really believe? You either believe it or you don't. Like I used to tell people all the time during the fucking lockdowns when they would come in and ask me how to fight, and I explained to them, you can't compromise this, can't compromise, can't. Well, I don't know if I can do that. I don't think. Well, then you don't love your country enough.
Yeah.
You don't.
Well, like Tommy, our production manager, right, for this show, he was just telling me that when he went to the event with Tucker Carlson and Vivek and everything like that, and the name Kamala got brought up, he yelled, "She's a fucking whore!" And a couple of MAGA gals.
Where'd you get that from, Toe?
Well, I mean, Tony says it.
I think you said that.
I called Kamala a slut.
A slut. Okay. I'm sorry. Whore, slut. I kind of blur the line, I guess.
Yeah.
But the point being that the MAGA women, they can't be truthful about it because we know how she got to where she is.
Yeah.
I mean, it was Willie Brown talked about it. And I saw
Downtown Willie Brown.
I saw Willie Brown years ago on Bill Maher's show. We're talking 20 years ago. And this is how depraved this guy is. And he's calling out Kamala. He said, they used to say the rule in politics is you don't be caught with a dead prostitute or a live boy. He said, but in San Francisco, it's don't be caught with a live prostitute or a dead boy. And he laughed. That's how sick and depraved. And that was 20 years ago.
Wow.
And he thought that was funny. But it was like, that's what they're doing.
And that was her mentor.
That was her mentor. Who
that was her groomer.
He then pulled her covers, so she's worse than him.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right. In fact, you haven't heard anything from him. He's not. I haven't heard that he's endorsed her or supported her.
He didn't support her for vice president.
The problem is Trump now he's got all these so-called people who say they're Republicans and how are now supporting her. And say, I'm sorry, if you're a Republican, there's no fucking way. It's one thing to say I don't like the candidate, I'm not going to vote for him, I'm not going to vote at all.
Yeah.
But if you're supporting, you were never a Republican, you outed your fucking self.
Yeah.
You should be tar and feathered, right?
Yeah.
They should be banned from ever attending a conservative or Republican event ever again. They should be banned from they should be the registration as a Republican should be revoked.
Yeah.
I mean, who the fuck do they think they're talking to? Who the fuck do they think we're fucking stupid?
Well, they're helping they're helping the enemy now because the enemy's saying if Trump wins, we're gonna allege that. Well, they're already doing it now. They're already hinting that our side is going to cheat in the election the same way we allege that they cheated. So they'll know how to set that narrative up because they actually fucking did it.
Yeah.
So they'll know how to prosecute that case way better than Trump did because Trump was just imagining what was happening. He had evidence of it, but he didn't understand exactly how it was going down. They know because they fucking did it.
Yeah.
Well, he should purge the military like Obama did. If he gets another chance, he should have done that. He should have purged the military because the military wasn't even backing him.
He won't do it. What?
The military wasn't backing him last time around.
Yeah.
They're ready to take him out. And they were like willfully disobeying the commander-in-chief's orders. I mean, they need to be purged. Obama purged them. Trump should purge them too. You want to purge our guys? We're going to purge your guys.
Okay, well then you know what he
Half
should.
His cabinet was not supporting.
They were all traitors. He should he should start purging now. He should purge RFK.
Yes.
Tulsi Gabbard, his daughter, his son-in-law. He's even got these. I don't know if you heard these big Silicon Valley billionaires or whatever now.
Yeah, they're also.
They got their hooks in him now, and these guys were basically calling him piece of shit scumbag back in 2016.
Yeah.
They were saying he should be jailed for J6, and now they're coming around. They're sniffing around, and Trump is just giving it big sloppy kisses, wrapping his arms around. And the problem with that is these people. Trump likes to be flattered, right? And the problem is when these people get in with him, what's going to happen is, and the way I see it is, I predict that they're going to get their hooks in him, just like RFK and the rest of them, and it's their way to hedge their fucking bets in case he wins. Because if he wins, they could hitch their wagons to him, right?
Yep.
And then hijack his entire fucking plan and navigate it in a way that benefits them and the left.
Exactly.
That's what I think is going to happen.
I mean, okay, maybe this is a cope on my part, Tony.
Yeah.
But Trump is a high IQ man. His uncle was like,
He says a lot of dumb shit, but
because he's telling a lot of dumb shits in this country.
Yeah.
But he's a high IQ man.
Shit, man.
I mean, I heard that his uncle was like the longest tenured professor, I think, at MIT.
Yeah.
Right? Trump is a genius. Right? He is a genius.
Yeah, I don't know.
And he is.
Okay.
But what I'll say is this.
A genius that couldn't even figure out to at least have Bibles made in the United States of America. But go ahead.
Well, one man can't do it all. In the Bible, when Moses was trying to judge the nation, at some point, I think his father-in-law said, no, appoint a bunch of people to do it. Trump is fucked because he's got all these fucktards that are only thing he can draw from to a point. And they don't give a fuck about it. Or even they're trying to fucking do it on purpose. Here's the problem. But here's the possibility. There's the glimmer of hope, Tony. And I'll say this, maybe it's a cope. But, they have that adage over in New York. It's like a New York proverb. Maybe some philosopher came up with it. It's keep your friends close and keep your enemies close.
But his enemies fuck him over every time.
Yeah.
That's the problem. That's why he's getting prosecuted left and right. His enemies are his people that he supposedly kept close are doing it to him.
Yeah.
They're fucking him over.
Well, my judge in my January 6th case, he's appointed by Trump. So maybe he will reflect upon the man who, gave him his position. Maybe.
I mean, he talks about illegal aliens and illegal immigration, and then he says, "Oh, but we want more of them to come in. We want them to come in
legally.
We need legally. We need them." He says, "We actually need."
Why?
Wait. I'm not even talking about only illegal immigration. All immigration has to stop. All immigration needs to right now be frozen. Okay, and the border needs to be fucking walled, sealed with a wall, 1,000 feet fucking high, whatever it takes.
I like it.
And then the only asylum has to end. The only asylum we need to be giving is asylum to people from first world countries, right?
Yeah.
That prove they love this country, that want to come here and help us make it better.
Yeah.
People that can bring
people that
what?
They'll bring skills that
they'll be an asset.
Yeah.
They get asylum.
Yeah.
Everyone else, fuck off.
Yeah.
No, you're not coming here anymore. That's done.
there's periods of time in our history not too long ago where we had no immigration. So it's not unprecedented that we can, stop immigration for a period of time.
Well, here's
assimilation is the key to it too. We're not assimilating people; they need to assimilate to our culture.
But the problem is you're bringing people here that don't even want to be American. They spit on this country when they get here. They come here. The thing I hate the most is when an immigrant comes here and says, "Oh, I love this country, the opportunity." Wait! All I'm hearing from you is the fucking opportunity that you want to make money here, send it back to your family, get your education, whatever the fuck it is, and then go back and enrich your country more. I didn't hear you once say you love this country's culture, tradition, its history, what it stands for, freedom, all the things that this country has done for the entire world. I didn't hear any of that. I just hear fucking opportunity.
Well, the prostitute, does she really love you if you got to pay her? So if these people want to be paid before they love this country, do they really love this country? Yeah. Do they really love it? No.
Well, we can't have open borders and a welfare state. They just don't go together. Milton Friedman, a famous economist, said that. You cannot have open borders and a welfare state.
Well, the Haitian invasion is not only just happening in Ohio. They keep talking about that, but Pennsylvania is having a big problem too. There's a little town there that used to be had cultures like Slovaks. They had Belgian people living there. They had little Belgian cultural clubs. They're all wiped out because they dumped a bunch of Haitians there. They're overrunning the schools. There's a stench that's emanating from the old pipes that are in the buildings. They have they have a reputation for being horrible drivers. They're driving into buildings, and the people there that are open borders are so fucking greedy. There's a company there. There's a company, I forget the name of it. It's a frozen food company, and the guy that runs it, he wants to keep them there. In fact, they went out and bought 50 properties that were rentals that American families were renting, and booted them all out, including children who lived in these homes, the only homes they ever knew. Yeah. Kicked their asses out and moved the fucking Haitians in.
I'll tell you why.
Because they're making more money, right?
Because the government's supplementing it. With that FEMA money, the billions that FEMA's getting, they're funneling that to these people that rent or work these people, employ these people. But people don't know about Haiti's history. People don't know that when Haiti had its revolution, its rebellion, whatever you want to call it, they genocided every white man, woman, and child there in Haiti. They killed them all. They did some voodoo ritual. They did a human sacrifice. It said some people, oh, no, it was just an animal sacrifice. They did their voodoo. When people start talking about the animals missing, people don't realize that voodoo's real. And like 95% of Haiti practices voodoo. And a fundamental aspect of voodoo is animal sacrifice. And the fact is that Haiti has a horrible history of genocide, of racism, of criminality, of murder, of brutality. I mean, they don't teach it, but it's real. And who knows why? I mean, I got videos on my phone that shows a man eating pieces of a person being barbecued on the street, taking chunks off and eating them to show off. Mm-hmm. This is not the American way. This is not even the human way. Yeah. This, they want to say, oh, the Christian colonizers. Well, guess what? The indigenous people, they were eating each other too.
Yeah, we did you a fucking favor. And you know what? Yeah, exactly. And all these people on the left saying that when they come here they enrich our culture and turn into a fucking toilet bowl is what they do. I was reading about this poor grandfather sends his grandkid to preschool, publicly funded preschool, and he finds out that his kid comes home and he finds out that the school wants him to hire a translator. Now, these are Americans that speak English, So they go down and find out what's going on. You want us to hire a translator? We don't understand. They go, well, our school is predominantly Hispanic, and all the kids speak Spanish. Yeah. So the teachers teach in Spanish. So if your kid wants to learn in an American school, he's got to have a translator that's translating Spanish into English. Are you fucking kidding me? No. That fucking school, they should go in there and arrest everybody for fucking treason.
Well, Waltz.
What?
Waltz, about a week or so ago, he's bragging about some community in which they speak 50 languages.
Yeah. And so that's something good.
Like that's a good thing, right? But that's like here. There's a reason for this, Tony, and I've been studying it, and I think it comes from one of the philosophers, Aristotle, or somebody called it out. But tyrants love a system where they have many various people that are all, basically culturally enriched, where there's so much, they can't unite. And that's what tyrants need, is a people that are divided.
Of course.
So they can control.
So they conquer, yeah. Divide and conquer, going back to the friggin' Romans again, that's what they did. When they knew that they had to go in some place where there were different groups that got along and they might have to fight everybody, what'd they do? Divide and conquer. Yeah. That's exactly what they're doing.
But there's a distinct thing about Roman rules. The Romans of old, they did believe in nationalism. They did allow every conquered province to retain its own ethnic national identity.
Yeah.
Just you have allegiance to Rome, but you are your own people. And
not only that, not only that, if you the greatest, the crime that was punished with the most severity of all crimes in Rome was treason. Treason. Now, but at the same time, they valued what you just said, citizenship. If you were a Roman citizen, you had so many benefits, including meant something.
Yeah.
Including even if you committed a crime. If you committed a crime, they would punish you like instead of torturing you, they'll just chop your fucking head off. Like they'll just make it easy on you, right?
Yeah.
Like they would treat you better. They would punish you. The punishment would be less harsh if you were a Roman citizen instead of being somebody on the outside. So instead here in this country, if you're a foreigner, they bend over backwards for you. If you're an American citizen, they'll torture you.
Yeah, $7,000.
Look what they're doing to him.
Yeah. $7,000 per refugee. They give them, I've been hearing stories about them getting food stamp cards with thousands of dollars for them to buy food.
You go to a Capitol, hit our house, right? The Capitol is our house. The White House is our house. Our taxpayer dollars fund all these things. We pay for them.
Of the people, for the people.
By the people. The invaders come here, take everything. They're given even more. They're given reward them even more. Reward them him. Cast him out.
Yeah.
Goes to they want to send you to prison for who knows how many fucking years.
Well, it's a big fuck you. And so any of these fucktards that don't like us using the fucking F word need to shut the fuck up, because they're telling us, me, you, every American, fuck you. And we can't say fuck you back. Yeah. You're not going to fucking tie my hands, and you're not going to fucking tape my mouth. Shut the fuck up, you civilian dipshit, and fucking know your place. You don't fucking question a man. You don't step up to a man. This is a fucking man's show, and this is a fucking man's world right here, right now.
Well, I think it starts with handcuffing the enemy within. We were talking about Pennsylvania. And the invaders over there, you have publicly funded NGOs, right? Non-government organizations, you know what they are.
Mostly Soros.
And you have one called the National, what they call them is National Resettlement Agencies. They go in and they help resettle these invaders.
I know, but that's a big grift, though.
It's a big grift. Well, the worst is called the Jewish Family and Community Services in Pittsburgh. And these people are helping helping these Haitians and other invaders in Pennsylvania sign up for welfare, Medicare, direct financial assistance. These are traitors.
Yes.
These are traitors. And in Rome, what they would do with you, their punishments were so severe. They would throw you into a thick sack, and they'd sew you in it. They would sew you in the fucking sack.
Imagine being caught red-handed and sewn into a sack with a monkey, a snake, and a rooster.
And they'd throw in the sack a fucking rabid dog. They'd throw in a rooster. They'd throw in a fucking snake. And they would lock you in that sack with that animal. And they would toss you in the water.
Oh.
Can you imagine?
The animals, when they get frantic from the drowning, what do? They start biting. They start scratching. They start, hurting you.
If I went through the type of tortures that the Romans inflicted on their enemies,
yeah.
It would blow you away. And the thing is that if our enemies here feared the same type of retribution, you'd see change really fucking quick. Yeah. They didn't even believe in incarceration. That took too fucking long. There was no incarceration. It was they would prosecute you fast, and punishment was swift.
They had two rules.
Fast.
It was either exile,
exactly.
Exile or execution. Yeah. The two X's.
Yep.
Exile or execution. That's all.
They didn't mess around, and that's a Roman rule that we should all incorporate in this country. Yeah, I mean,
we can be benevolent and just have a lot of exiles.
George Washington, look, yeah, exactly. George Washington, hey, exactly. It depends, but if we exile them, we got to exile them to a really shitty country.
So Haiti would be a good place.
Or spot. Yeah, that's,
they want.
That's hell on earth.
Yeah,
but
they want to be culturally enriched. I say, let them be culturally enriched, and send them to Haiti.
There you go.
And George Washington, by the way, the great George Washington, he was greatly influenced by the Romans. He in fact he had his own personal security that protected him. Mm. It was called the lifeguard, and I'm pretty sure. And when he found out about this guy named Thomas Hickey. Thomas Hickey was a guy in the lifeguard that was working with traitors on the outside. Yeah. Mm. And they were planning to either capture him or assassinate him. And when he found out, he tried him quickly. Boom. Prosecuted him fast and took him to New York, where there were a lot of people, and hung him publicly to send a message. And he made sure, I think, that 20,000 people showed up to watch that. And he ordered every soldier on duty that day to be there to watch. You had to go there and watch. And he wanted them to watch as a deterrent, to send a message. I mean, he was gangster about it, Yeah. So
he practiced Roman rules.
He absolutely did.
No, you touched upon that, Swift. But I just because I watch a lot of informational, historical, podcasts or whatnot. And literally every one of our founding fathers heavily studied the Roman Republic. Yeah. They heavily studied it more than anything else.
Yep.
And tried to see where it needed some shoring up, and they used that for what we have here, what we had here.
Yeah.
They used that.
Well, for the Romans, it was all about punishment and deterrence, just like I said.
And loss.
And people were so scared to be convicted by the Romans, because they knew what the punishment was going to be. Oftentimes, they would commit suicide because they didn't want to deal with it. Yeah, they were so fucking scared.
They didn't want to be seen as traitors either. So they really made sure that they showed their support to the Republic.
Yep.
Like you talk about treason. No, there wasn't any treason back then that went unchecked.
Well, imagine being thrown into a sack with a monkey or something. I mean, they'd even throw fucking monkeys in there. Yeah. In a sack with a monkey that's scared of drowning.
Yeah, what? Monkey. That's right. That's the one you forgot. A monkey.
Have you heard about that?
Yeah, it was the monkey, and it was what the
snake, the dog, a rooster. A rooster would be horrible. Those things are pretty violent, right?
I mean, you could kill a rooster.
Cockfighting. Yeah, but I'm saying if your hands are tied.
Oh yeah.
And you're bound, and you're in there, and it's just looking at you, pecking out your eyes. Yeah. So.
And they have sharp talons.
Yeah. So, but I think when you talk about this, about promoting masculinity, like you had talked about, and the F word and all other shit. You know, it's.
What's the F word, Tony?
Well, I say it when I'm ready to say it. You know,
want to.
It's got to have meaning. It's got to have meaning when I say it.
You know, every time I fucking say it,
in the middle of a sentence, I'm like, the F word. But when I'm ready to say it, I fucking launch.
It means something to me.
But there are a lot of things I don't like. I mean, I see men fist bumping. I hate that shit. Yeah. Fist bumping. You know, guys try to fist bump me, and I put my hand out like that, and I say, you know what? I don't do the Obama thing. You know, that's Obama. I think he made that a thing, right?
It was a COVID thing, I think, wasn't it? People didn't want to touch. You didn't want to touch
anybody.
But
there was like that famous video, I think, with Michelle or Michael and you know, Barack, you know, doing a fist bump at
each other.
They did fist bumped each other back in the.
I hate the word folks. I hate these politicians that keep saying folks. It's just so. I remember at the restaurant, I heard a couple of the guys early on when we first opened this location in 2017. A couple of the servers would see people walk in the door. How you folks don't fucking say that. It just sounds corny and stupid. And that's another thing. George W. Bush used to say. Obama said it, folks. I don't want to hear that fucking word. I don't want to hear the fucking phrase. I hear it even now still with everything going on in Florida. Shelter in place. When did that become a fucking thing? Yeah. Every little thing, every little fucking crisis, shelter in place.
They're really pretty much saying nothing, but they're acting like they're saying something.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah. And they wonder why all these high schoolers now they came out the other day, said 3.3% of high schoolers are calling themselves transgender now. And I talked to a guy who has a son. He was like 13 or 14 or 15, I forget what it was, in junior high, I think. And he says the straight kids are the outcasts now. And he says that most of these kids that call themselves transgender really aren't. They're doing it because it's the cool fucking thing now.
It's a cool thing too. Plus the school's kind of promoting it. The public schools are kind of promoting that.
Maybe that's how they're getting good grades. I don't know. I don't know what the reason would be. But if the school's saying, you know, this is something favorable, you know, the path of least resistance, I don't say it's right.
Yeah.
You know, it's just we have what appears to be the end of an empire right unraveling before our eyes.
Yeah. And
God willing, it's just a rough patch. I don't know. I really don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, Tony.
So, Kim, you have not only your J6 case hearing coming up or potentially your trial in a couple weeks, but you also have your state case. You have a hearing scheduled for this month too, I think, right?
Yeah, Tony, it's a clusterfuck. They've got me going. If I'm supposed to go or I could go, I need to go on the 16th of this month to D.C. Mm-hmm. And then on the 17th, they got me in Santa Ana for the 2 counts of assault with a deadly megaphone, you know, with the gangbanger with the brass knuckles.
Yep.
And, you know, that Santa Ana case, you know, it's had me worried for the longest because it's so stupid. I'd hate to lose to something so stupid.
Yeah.
Like, you know, but, you know, we got this Deputy DA Fawaz, a senior DA. Fawaz, this
She was the initial prosecutor on your case.
She's the most major.
Case.
She's the most major prosecutor.
Yeah.
You know, she's really, you know, anti-me, and you would lay into her, but, you know, Berkeley graduate, right? And, you know, somebody supplied me with a video they say is her in, you know, before she went to, you know, what do they call it, postgraduate degree at Berkeley. Yeah. She was involved in some protests and, you know, very, very anti-us.
They're just trying to
They're actively working against the community. Who are they protecting?
Because you shut down an event. You shut down a sanctioned event. You don't even know me. You know nothing about me. You're an idiot. You're going to define me by skin color. You're a fool.
The cesspool of Berkeley, yeah.
Well, this is before Berkeley, but then Berkeley, of course, she probably honed and refined her Antifa Marxist style. And now she's here trying to like pretend like she's, you know, a member of the Korean community for law and order, but yet she's letting the gangbangers go free and she's prosecuting me. And I laid into her. You saw me lay into her in the courtroom.
And we found out she was running for something, right?
You found out.
Yeah, she was running for something.
And you put it out there. And I think that kind of got her to like get out. But you know what? you don't just walk away from this shit, bitch.
Yeah,
you fucked everything
walked
up.
Away, yeah. She walked away.
But she left a mess.
She handed it off to somebody else. And she, the whole time, let's not let him off the hook. The guy's responsible for all this, Todd Spitzer.
Of course.
The ultimate traitor.
The ultimate traitor. He is a traitor to Orange County, to the community, to law and order.
He's just as bad as Gascon. What he's doing
to
you,
worse.
What he's doing to you, it makes him worse because he's a traitor. Exactly.
He's a traitor. Exactly. And then, like I said, there's a clusterfuck because on the 16th, I got DC trial or DC hearing to, discuss readiness for the 28th, my trial. Yeah. But then the very next day, I've got the Santa Ana case. So it's like they're not even, being mindful that I'm facing all these charges from different directions and coordinating. It's like they want to do everything they can to make it harder on me. And by the grace of God, I'm still going.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, on Goodfellas night, as you know, we're gonna honor you and your fight, and hopefully raise some funds to help you out with your travel. And I think it's important that you're comfortable while you're fighting your battles. You at least have. It was going back to the Romans again. When they fought wars, they made sure that their soldiers were well rested and well fed. That was very, very important. Morale was always paramount. And
that means a lot,
Tony. You need to have that,
Here's the thing. I got hooked up with this January 6th support group just recently.
Yeah.
And they were saying, we're going to give you this, we're going to give you that, we're going to give you this. And I said, you know what, though? I'm worried that maybe could be somebody more in need. I want to give my people in Orange County some time because they want to support me too. And they said, we don't care. We're going to give it to you anyway because you need our support.
Did they?
And they full on. They just want me to send them something. They're full on willing to support me regardless in Texas. But Orange County's got to represent too, I believe. You've given more than anybody. You've gone to 29 hearings at the Orange County Central Justice Center courthouse.
Yeah.
20. Do people realize how much time that was taken out of your life? 29 different hearings. How many hours is involved in preparation and transportation and arrival and waiting?
And how many people say that they want to support you and I'll show up, and they have never shown up. And people that then ask you, hey, Kim, how did the case go? How did it go today? They're so interested. And I've told you before, if they don't show up, tell them fuck off. You know what? If you want to know, start showing up.
Yeah.
And there are some people who show up, even if they show up for just a little while, but at least show their face, and take time out of their day to come there and say, I'm here for you, Kim. That means a lot. And we take names. We don't forget. We keep a list. We know the people, at least I do. We remember.
We know.
Yeah, we remember the people who have, Doug has made almost every one of them too. He's dealt with his own
maybe
stuff.
One or
and
two because he had something going medical
appointment or whatever. Yeah, but he's been there.
He's right behind you.
Yeah, it's and it's been an honor to be there. And I tell people you're missing out on witnessing history and also getting a close up view of what this war really is. Yeah. You don't understand because people just see it on TV. They read it in the newspapers. It's always funny how when we're at the restaurant at Basilico's and people are ranting and raving about what's going on in the world. And then I call you over and I say, Kim, show them your ankle monitor. And you pull up your pant leg like you are now. Yeah. And they see it.
And it's been how long?
They act like,
almost 3 years. So.
Yeah. And they're just blown away. And they're blown away because they're living in a fantasy world. So they see something now that's reality and they're shocked by it, even though they're talking about the same subject matter.
Yeah,
they're blown away by it. They're blown away by it because they don't see it up close and personal. Like I see it every day when I sit with you. We talk about your cases.
Well, maybe it's easy for them to talk about because they're so far removed, right?
Yeah.
So it's just a concept, but like this makes it more than a concept. This makes it like a reality. Yeah. It's in your fucking face.
Yeah,
it's been in my fucking life for fucking 3 fucking years. This shackle.
Yeah.
Well, this shackle that's affecting my walk, affecting my knee. Like I can't take it off.
Yeah.
I gotta shower with it. I can't take a bath. I can't jump in the ocean. I can't jump in a pool.
Yeah.
This is a sacrifice. This is a cross to bear. But It's because there's a real fight out there.
Yeah. And they follow you to the restaurant. They've been outside the restaurant asking you.
The government people.
Yeah.
Can you come down and talk to us?
Yeah, Basilicos. Yeah. Fucking hilarious. But so when people see this, Goodfellas night will already have happened, but we'll talk about it the next time we all sit together. But being up close and personal to this stuff is a privilege, and it should be for everybody. That's why they should, when we stream your J6 cases at the restaurant, we invite people to show up. Not a lot of people do, but the ones that do, I think, walk away feeling proud of themselves that they participated in history. This is history, and you don't realize how historic it is until more time passes. Then you look back, like, that really fucking happened. My God. And that's why, we've had Aaron Babbitt there before, and I invited him this time. He can't because all the stuff he's dealing with, his own court issues and his case and everything else. He's been busy working on that. Yeah. So, and you were saying, you had a thought about that earlier that I thought was interesting.
Yeah. So, I always think back of all the evenings we spent at the restaurant, and especially on the weekend nights or Friday nights when all the guys are together. To me, it really feels, I can kind of relate to, what it must have been like back in the revolutionary period of time, 1776 in particular. And so I was kind of doing a little research on that. And, remembering Ashley today on her birthday, I feel like, she, there's another person in history that is, maybe there's some parallels between her and him. There was a kid, 11-year-old boy named Christopher Schneider, or Sider or Schneider. I'm not sure what the last name was, but he's credited to be the first person killed during the Revolutionary War. And it was kind of a similar situation to January 6th, as far as I can tell. There was a group of people that were protesting in front of a home, and there was a customs agent by the name, I think his name is Ebenezer Johnson or something, and somebody threw a rock and broke a window. In Ashley's case, there was a window that was broken.
Wow.
And this guy reacted and started shooting into the crowd randomly and killed this poor 11-year-old kid, Christopher. And this kind of the same thing happened to Ashley. There was a guy who reacted foolishly. I mean, he probably should have never been in the situation given the responsibility that he was given. I think there's a lot of background about him. And I think the people from Judicial Watch have actually found out a lot of information about this guy that's not been publicly.
He's evil. Yeah.
He shouldn't have had a gun.
He should never. He probably wasn't responsible. And maybe that was the same thing. This guy back in the day, Johnson, he was convicted of murder, but was given a pardon by the king, I guess, or something. So, I mean, there's some similarities there. I don't know. I'm not saying that there's another revolution coming, but, maybe this is the beginning of something. Who knows? Yeah. I think the January 6th people, this incident actually led to the Boston Massacre, which everybody's kind of more familiar with, which kind of really got the revolution going. And, maybe the January 6th people are, similar to the Boston Massacre people,
Yeah.
So,
well, my January 6th case, like, speaking of that, Fawaz and her Berkeley background, even right now, my federal public defender that I'm trying to get rid of for weeks and weeks, she's a Berkeley person. And, I've just learned recently, I haven't had time to even research or prepare for my arguments to the court in DC as to why she and I can't work with each other. But I found out that she has political aspirations. She's been on a list of progressives that are trying to bring about change in Oklahoma. Well, Oklahoma's the reddest state in the union, so what kind of change do they want to bring about, right? They want to make it a blue state, right? And then What else? She's quoting the article that she wants to be a senator. So if you're putting yourself out there as a government official, she's an officer of the court, as a federal public defender, if you're putting yourself out there that you have these very specific leftist, progressive, Democrat-leaning politics, you're not fit to be, well, and that goes without saying, I was supposed to get a conflict panel attorney anyways. She's a federal public defender. I was already supposed to get a conflict panel outside the federal public defender's office. All this stuff, it's like, well, if it doesn't get noted, if it doesn't get brought up, it's as if it didn't happen.
Yeah.
I'm bringing it up now.
Yeah.
I'm bringing it up every chance I get. I'll bring it up if I make it out to D.C. I'll bring it up to the judge straight, face to face, eye to eye, Your Honor, because I want him to know this. I want all this stuff to be known. I've got nothing to hide. I've not been hiding anything. The people with the hidden agendas, like my Berkeley federal public defender, just like my Berkeley prosecutor, they're all the same. They're all the Marxists, the anti-American types. They're like against me, and they're trying to take me out because they have extreme prejudice, and they want to terminate me with extreme prejudice. They want to take me out, and by God, I will prevail, or whatever happens to me, the Lord will be with me, so I don't care. But I do care if I don't put up a fight, because ultimately, that to me is failure is if I don't try. It's not if I win or lose, but if I don't try.
You're putting up a fight that makes me proud. It would make the Founding Fathers proud. Your family, your kids, one day when they're old enough to understand, they're going to be proud. And like I told you once when I read the charges against you, I said, man, a kid that appreciates his country and appreciates freedom and especially the history of this country, and your grandkids, when they read the charges against their grandfather, their father, they're going to say, wow, my grandfather did this.
Yeah.
He was a real badass, you know. Yeah. He was a real patriot. And so
Tony, you know what? I think I got like this autistic focus, because this morning I was talking with somebody and that's helping me out. They're going to write, some stuff, evaluation and stuff. I just had this memory. And I said, you know what? Because the woman was telling me, you've got a lot of integrity and you believe and stand for something. And I said, in that moment, it tapped the memory. I said, you know what? I wasn't a very good Boy Scout, but I was a Boy Scout. And the one thing I remember, and don't get me wrong, the Boy Scouts now, they're shit. They're woke.
Yeah, they're not even a real organization anymore.
But when I was a Boy Scout, they're not even boy anymore.
Yeah.
Right? But when I was a Boy Scout, I remember these very simple, very straightforward words. On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country. Yeah. And when I said that with the faith of a child, I believed it wholeheartedly. And that has been in my heart to this very day. And even though the Boy Scouts is, finished, done, I've been thinking, you know what? I should tell my son that oath.
Yeah.
And have him recite it.
Starts there, yeah. Yeah, I was a Cub
Scout.
Those
words.
I remember, yeah. But anyway, I just wanted to, we should give a toast to Ashley and just say, you won't be forgotten.
Yes.
And to everybody out there watching, remember, you're Americans. Act like it. And gentlemen, see you next time.
God willing.